tell him just leave you alone or run away, then he would have been getting beat up. He would never have stood his ground. He would never have had confidence. But
Mm-hmm.
because there was a balance and a male in
Better on this side, bro. The grass is so much greener, bro. Like that's why I don't let people talk to me any kind of way now. I stand up and talk talk every single time.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word, and I don't break them for no one. You understand?
What's happening, family? We got back another video. This one's gonna be over Ask a Brother podcast with my boy Jeff St. James. He makes some pretty good content. I bumped into him like a couple years ago, not in person, but like online. I see his presence. And I don't know, man. Talking points is dope. Let's see what he got to say, man. I'm rocking with it.
When they're saying where's all the good men and where's all the strong masculine men, y'all neutered them. Welcome to another episode of Ask a Brother podcast. I'm your host, Jeff St. James, and we're gonna have a whole host of different people from different backgrounds coming in because it really is about building a community of like-minded people that's just open to listening and hearing from other perspectives. The revolution is going to be because of us. I did have a secondary question. You had mentioned earlier about men. A lot of ladies kind of functionally operate as if they're wanting men to kind of read their minds. And are women expecting men to like think, behave, and communicate like women? And if so, what does that look like?
Well, first, I'm going to go back to elementary school.
Okay.
And I used to work at elementary school for a brief period. And early on, boys are expected to act like little girls. And this is what I mean. If you are rambunctious, and you're a boy, you're wanting to play, jump, do all the things little boys do when they're 6 or 7 or whatever. Well, in a classroom setting, a main priority is order, right? That everybody has to be calm. And so a little girl can sit and read a book, color, draw, work on the board, where little boys want to move and do and hands-on. But the expectation is sit down, be quiet, read a book, memorize this passage, everything that is calming, okay? And boys are not looked at and appreciated for their energy. Some people might say aggression or whatever. If you cannot validate a little boy, then the same thing is going to happen in society. When he's a teenager, when he's a man, it's the same thing. He needs to be like a girl or like a woman. And how that plays out is we are women and we're nurturing by nature. And so we may sit down and discuss an issue. Whereas, maybe your husband or your fiance, he has an issue where he's not going to come in the same nurturing kind of way. He may come more direct. He may be a little more aggressive. He may have a little more energy as he's trying to express his concern. And the difference makes a woman at times feel like, don't talk to me like that. I need you to talk to me the same way I talk to you. And we're not talking about disrespect or name calling or anything like that, but we're talking about losing the nature of who they are and acting more like a woman. And again, it starts in elementary school. And so now I'm, as a woman, thinking about, just like we were in school, boys are bad. Right? That's what they say. When you can't sit down for 2 hours, you're bad, And so as a woman, in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, now you've got to do what I want to do, the way I want you to do it. And so I've told women this before. When a man comes to you and he has a concern, an issue, first of all, don't take it personally. And that's a huge thing. That's another story. But learn how to remove the anger or the disappointment and hear the problem and hear the solution. That can be very challenging because we want the man to come to us like us. We want them to respond the same way, not with a firm tone. What is this toxic masculinity? You know, he talks to this way. He acts this. Who wants a man that is not going to be strong and aggressive? The things I have learned from my husband, I have 3 sons. And what I've learned is you can't treat little boys like little girls, because when they grow up and they have to function in the world, you have to have a level of aggression. You have to have.
She is exactly right. That's indoctrination camp, bro. That's all school is. School is made to indoctrinate us, bro, and to neuter us. Like they said, I can't say it no better than that. Um, it's the mask, your strong masculine presence that you naturally exude as a little boy going into manhood. And I don't think it's never going to change, bro. It preps you to be a workhorse. It preps you to be silent and very passive until you reach your breaking point, and then you end up doing something out of emotional frustration. And as a man, you have testosterone run through your veins, which is times 10, which the damage you can do, and you feel like you have no outlet. And I get into it. Me and my sister get into it all the time because my sister expects for me to talk in a soft tone and rub her shoulder while I talk to her ever so softly, like a feather just falling on the ground. And I'm just like, bro, I'm not doing all that cupcake shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, not to be disrespectful or rude, but like, this is how I really talk. Like, I talk normal, like I'm supposed to. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not finna mask my masculinity and dumb myself down because uh my forwardness and truthfulness hurts you. The truth just hurts. And when I deliver it, and on top of the truth hurting, on top of that, to add a sprinkle on top, always coming from a man. And I have disdain towards a man. Sometimes because there was no real father figure in the home, which is because women are kicking them out, and especially in the black community, people that look like me. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we kind of facing, bro. And it's kind of hard for us, bro. But we really good people. It's just we led astray. You know what I'm saying? And single mothers, yeah, they can do the best they can, bro. But they're not really equipped to teach a man how to be a man because you're not a man. Simple as that, bro. Let's continue. This woman's cooking right now. I love it.
A way of operating in society, not in terms of lawlessness, but you have to have some get up and go about yourself. But if you have somebody beating you over the head constantly, saying, sit down, calm down, be quiet, do all the things like a woman, talk like a woman, act like a woman, it makes for.
There you go, bro. They just said in the comments, tone policing, bro. There you go. That's a great way to sum it up.
Imbalance. I think sometimes we feel like opposites are opposed. And what I'm saying is life is full of opposites. You have up, down, high, low, yes, no. And it's not that they are opposed or enemies, but what they do is they bring balance. And so when you have a mother and a father in a home and you're trying to raise a son, you can't have all nurturing. You can't say, to my husband, hey, can you not talk so firm? Can you say please and thank you? Can you, act like me? And then you have a son that's going to be raised, and then he's not going to be able to understand authority, nor will he be able to exert authority. And we take authority, in my opinion, as a personal.
How you what you about to say? Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it. Hold on. When women get power and authority in a relationship, what happens?
Well, things don't always go the way they should, and you have these men then that grow up And so you have first of all, you have the women. I want a man who can do this. I want a man who can provide. I want a man who can protect. Well, how is he going to protect if all the while he was growing up, you say, stop being aggressive, sit down, read a book, calm down. Who's going to protect if all the men are toxic, right, in their masculinity, and they can't be aggressive? How are they going to attack you? At nighttime, if I hear something, I am not trying to get out the bed and go check. I'm nudging, saying, did you hear that? And I am expecting that my husband is not going to look at me and say, yeah, babe, can you go check and see what it is?
Yeah.
Let me know. No, I'm expecting him to move in his masculinity, in his aggression, and go do what needs to be done. But if I'm always knocking him down as a man because he doesn't come to me and say, hey, honey, can you please, can you do this for me? No, like, miss me with that. I want a man that's going to be a man. And so back to your question, the difference is, unfortunately, they're not celebrated. They're always challenged. I had a talk with my son. My twins are 17, right? My oldest is in his mid-30s. He's not married yet either. And I'm explaining to them that I homeschool most of my children, most of their lives, but one of my twin sons wanted to go to public school. But the things I used to teach them, when you go to public school, as a brown-skinned young boy, you are not going to be celebrated. You're going to be looked at as, like I said, bad, too aggressive. You can't sit still and all of that. You can't let someone kill your spirit, the nature of who you are, And by homeschooling them, one of the things I wanted to avoid was that. There are so many things now. I mean, they've had studies. I can't think of this doctor where it's alleged that there was an experiment done with water. And how the water was changing the tadpole males into females, giving them tendencies.
I think it's atrazine or
yeah. I read about that. I'm like, wow. And so whatever this attack is on men that says you need to be soft and you need to be sweet and you need to be basically feminized, it is to break the balance. Because if you raise lots of boys who are afraid to speak up, who are afraid to say, hey, no, that's wrong, right? Even in a marriage.
Then you're going to make our society weaker, bro. That's what's going to happen. See, this is a thing that people really are opening up their eyes to. It's like, if we get silenced as a man and we take the back seat and let our women do all that, they're going to be more masculine. And guess what? Your woman's going to turn around and bring that masculine energy to whom? To you, fool. To you. So it's like, and on top of that, like, your woman's not even gonna respect you, bro. Like, your woman's not gonna respect you. She's not gonna listen to you because she's gonna be like, well, I'm wearing the pants. I talk to you aggressively, and you talk to me all soft and feminine because out of scarcity, you know what I'm saying? So she gonna feel like she's better than you and she has more value than you, and that may not even be true, but in a sense, it is to her in her mind because she's taking the you know what I'm saying, the driver's seat, and you in a passenger being a passenger princess because you let her become the man. You become a passenger princess because you're letting her run the ship, bro. Like, she tells you what to do. You work and bust your ass all day, and she worked too. That's the dynamic now. But yet you still are responsible to pay majority of the bills. No woman really wants to go 50-50. Women want to be able to have autonomy and do what they want to do with their bodies while still being locked down in a relationship. Want to give you sex whenever they want to, whenever the relationship is fresh, to pull you in, maybe lock you down for marriage. And then a lot of times, man, I start seeing sexless marriages, bro, and men do not speak up at all. You know what I'm saying? This shit goes on a regular basis. And it's like, bro, it's crazy. Bro, it's crazy, bro. I don't even think it's worth getting married today, bro. Like, look at what we've become as a society in the U.S. as a whole, bro. It's sad, bro.
because they were told they shouldn't say this and they shouldn't do that,
Mhm.
then that leads for a lot of error. It leads to a society of soft men and hard women. That's not a good society. It's not a sustainable society. And it may sound sexist or whatever, but we as women have to not expect that our men are going to act like us. If that's the case, why would you marry a man? Just stay by yourself and be happy. But this was and I talked about this before. It's called The American Dream, with about the Jackson family, you know, how they came into it. And one of the things that the mother was, Angela Bassett, you know, she was, you know, they were Jehovah's Witness or whatever, Seventh-day Adventists. And so she was like, I don't want my boys to fight. You know, I want them to be nice little boys and all of that. And so the guy who was Lawrence Hilton, somebody, I forgot, he played the dad, you know, Joe Jackson. And, you know, he was aggressive. And so this little boy was beating up Jackie Jackson. And they was like, Dad, Jackie's getting beat up by the bully. And so the woman, the wife, went out, the mom rather, she was like, I don't want my boys to fight. I don't want my boys to fight, you know. And Joe was like, get the gloves, let them duke it out, let's do it right. And so he gave them gloves and they were boxing. And the mother, she was hysterical. She was like yelling, I don't want my boys to fight. And the father was like, get him, you know. So you had these opposing forces, right? And so Jackie knocked the boy out. And then when he finished, he was like, I did it. You said never be afraid. And I beat the bully up or whatever. And I'm saying all this to say that there has to be balance. If the father was acting like the mother and they were both saying, yeah, don't fight, you know, just tell him, just leave you alone or run away, then he would have been getting beat up. He would never have stood his ground. He would never have had confidence. But because there was a balance and a male in the family
That's key. There was a male in the home, bro. That makes a complete difference, bro. Like, most kids won't do half the shit they would do if they just had a man in the house, bro. And like, man, I can say personally for me, I think I've stressed this more than enough on maybe not nearly enough, but on some of my other videos while reacting, man. But I was raised to be a weakling as well, and I confronted my mom about it in front of my whole family, like, cause we be having discussions and I be going off, and guess what? The whole room get quiet and silent. Why? Because they know who talking. They respect, you know what I'm saying, my authority. They respect my you know what I'm saying, my presence, bro, because I've earned that, bro. I put the work in for that, bro. And I put the work in every single day. And I vowed to myself, bro, I never go back. Because like, bro, it's better on this side, bro. The grass is so much greener, bro. Like, that's why I don't let people talk to me any kind of way now. I stand up and talk every single time. I don't let people just straight up call me out my name. I ain't just knocking people out or nothing like that. But if it gotta go to that, then it's gonna have to go to that, because man, I die about my respect, man. It's just, bro, it's not worth letting people walk all over you, man. It just ain't worth it, bro. Man or woman, bro. Like, after a while, you get tired of that, bro. You're not finna just have people just talking any kind of way. And it starts at home, bro. Like I told my cousin, bro, it starts at home, bro. That's why people can't get away with stuff they used to get away with me when I was coming up as a kid, as a teenager, bro. Like, they can't talk to me any kind of way. If they do, they know it's gonna be consequences behind it, bro. They know how you coming, man. Like, for real, 10 toes down.
say, no, you need to fight. You know, I know your mother doesn't want you to, but those are the differences that make up for the balance, that make up for a sound society.
Yeah. So real quick, I peeped with what you said. I think about this, and and I think ladies are starting to somewhat realize that when they're saying, where's all the good men and where's all the strong masculine men, y'all neutered them. Y'all raised them. Y'all raised them in homes where a lot of y'all didn't want a lot of fatherly input. and you left relationships with men that weren't going to be quote unquote controlled by you. So it's strange that ladies will turn these men into versions of men that they're no longer attracted to, and before they know it, it's like you said, they go into relationships a lot of times hoping he'll change and conform to this image in their head where he always does what they want, and then in the end, they're not even attracted to that. They actually don't really want, like, they both want that in terms of their ego and their pride, but in terms of their nature and biology, they're actually turned off by that, and they don't respect that.
Exactly. And once I started doing the complete opposite, guess what? I started getting completely different results from society, women, co-workers, strangers, because man, it's it starts in the mentality, bro. It's your energy you give off is like, oh shit, like, if I do disrespect him, like it's not gonna go the way I think it's gonna go. He ain't finna just tolerate that. And that's what you gotta stand on, bro. I'm trying to tell you, bro, like you gotta stand on that, man. But that's about the end of the clip right there, man. I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. Y'all like, comment, subscribe, man. I appreciate you. More blessings, baby. Thank you for the love and support, man. Keep it coming. Hop in the comment section. Comment down below and let us know, like, where are you at in your journey? Are you stepping all 10 toes down? You only got 5 toes down? Are you about to touch the ground because this video maybe woke you up? And maybe you like, man, going forward, because it could be on your mind, like, man, I've been thinking, like, I want to speak up, but I just don't know how. Like, did this video empower you to do just that? Like, let me know, man. Y'all have a blessed one, bro. I'm out.